What's up, sports fans? This is the Lucas Ross Sports Channel. We continue here with our 2023 college football predictions for the 2023 college football season. We continue them with the California Golden Bears, a team coming off a 4-8 season in 2022. It was a really rough year for Cal last year, so they were a disappointment last year in 2022. This wasn't really a team that I was high on last year. I knew they were going to be pretty young last year, but now coming into this year in 2023, they could be a lot better than they were last year. Maybe a little bit more of a competitive team, but I really don't think that's going to be the case this year with Cal. It's hard to tell how good this team is going to be. You look at the overall production coming back for this team, 58% on the offensive side of the football, 78% on the defense. They brought in some transfers to help them out, and my thoughts on this team, like I said, I think they're going to be competitive this year, but they brought in some transfers to help them out, but I just think overall the talent is not there for Cal right now to compete in the Pac-12. But you look at the schedule this year, I don't think that's the reason why Cal is going to be pretty bad this year. I think the reason why they're going to be quite bad is because of the schedule they have. They got North Texas, Auburn, and Idaho in the non-conference. That's a pretty tough non-conference schedule when you got Auburn there at home on September 9th. At least to get that game at home. And then you look at the Pac-12 schedule. They'll play Washington on the road, Oregon State at home, Utah on the road, USC at home, Oregon on the road, and then you got UCLA on the road. So you're playing the top 6 teams from the Pac-12 last year, and that much makes the schedule a lot brutal. It really makes this schedule really terrible for Cal, and definitely a hard schedule this year for 2023. But let's go game by game now and give you an official prediction for this Cal team. We'll start things off here with North Texas on the road on September 2nd. I expect an easy win here for Cal. I know it's a road game here against North Texas, but I really don't expect North Texas to be a really big problem for Cal. I think the defense is going to step up in this one, and I think Cal will start out 1-0 for 2023. They get an easy win there on the road against North Texas, and then they'll play Auburn at home on September 9th, non-conference matchup here against the SEC of Auburn. Auburn's kind of in a new rebuild now. I mean, Hugh Freeze coming over as the head coach, but I think both of these teams are pretty similar in overall production coming back this year, and plus both of these teams brought in some transfers to help them out. Do I think Auburn is the better team here? Yes, they do, but Cal does have home field advantage in this one. But if you look at my Auburn prediction a long time ago back then, I did predict Auburn to win this one, and I'm going to still go with my pick here. I think Auburn is the better team, and overall the better, more talented team in this game, and I think Auburn will give Cal their first loss of the season here in the month of September at home for Cal. And I got Cal now starting out 1-1, but then they'll take care of business against Idaho here at home on September 16th. So I got Cal improving to 2-1. Then they'll play Washington on the road after that on September 23rd. I don't think Cal has a really good shot here to knock off Washington. You look at the overall production coming back for this team. A lot of the production coming back for this team. Michael Penix back at quarterback, potentially a top 10 quarterback heading into 2023. And also, pretty much, you got a lot of talent on this Washington roster. I really don't expect Cal to compete in this game. I think Washington wins this one pretty easily and gives Cal their second loss of the season. And plus, that's their first game in the Pac-12. Pretty brutal having to play Washington in early September, and that puts their record at 2-2. Then they'll play Arizona State at home here on September 30th. Really similar teams here. I think it's kind of similar to the Auburn matchup. It will be a close game here. Arizona State brought in a ton of guys in the transfer portal as well. I think this game is going to be close. I think it will be a close game, probably a one-possession type ball game. Defensive battle, I think, here between these two teams. I think both offenses will kind of struggle, but at the end of the day, Cal does have home field advantage in this one. I think Cal gets their first Pac-12 win here at home on September 30th against the Sun Devils, and I got Cal improving to 3-2. Then they'll play Oregon State at home on October 7th, so you got back-to-back home games here with Arizona State and Oregon State. I think Cal can keep this game close here against the Beavers. Overall, though, I think talent-wise, Oregon State has the more talented roster and the more talented team in this game. I just don't think it will be quite enough for Cal to knock off Oregon State here at home. And I'm going to go with the Beavers here to knock off Cal at home on October 7th. So that puts Cal's record at 3-3. Then they'll play Utah on the road here on October 14th. This is a veteran, experienced Utah team. I don't really expect this game to be all that close either. I think it's kind of similar to the Washington game. Too tough of a place to play here for Cal. And I think at the end of the day, Utah really will dominate this game. I don't think it will be a blowout. I think it won't be quite enough for Cal to knock off Utah here in an upset. So I'm going to go with Utah in that game. That puts Cal's record at 3-4. They get a bye week after that Utah game. Then they'll play USC at home here on October 28th. Pretty good spot for a bye week if you're a Cal fan. USC going to have a really good offense, though. I just don't really see this game being all that close. I know it's a rival game. You never know what can happen, but let's be honest, Caleb Williams and that offense of Lincoln Riley is going to be really too explosive for Cal's defense to handle. I know Cal's defense is really looking strong this year, but I think USC just overall, talent-wise, they have the bigger edge in that game, and I think USC gives Cal their 5th loss of the season, and that puts their record at 3-5. So Cal needs 3 more wins here to get to a bowl game, but it really is going to get tougher because they play Oregon on the road here in the month of November to start things out in the month of November on November 4th. Oregon's going to have a really good team, kind of similar to USC. They're going to have a really good offense. Bo Nix back at quarterback defensively. I am kind of concerned about the defense for the Ducks, but not really too concerned about them. But I think Oregon will roll over in this game. I think it will be a too tough of a place to play here for Cal as well. Similar to the Utah and Washington games, I think it's too tough of a place to play, and I think Oregon wins this one by at least a couple touchdowns or more than that. So I think Cal will lose their 6th game here on the road at Oregon. Then they'll play Washington State at home on November 11th. Washington State, I think, is a team that you don't want to sleep on in 2023. This team has a lot of production coming back this year. I think they're going to be really good on offense. Defensively, I think they're going to be pretty good on that side of the football as well. But this is November. I think Cal can keep this game close here in this one. I think this game goes into the 4th quarter, but I don't think it will be quite enough here for Cal to pull off a huge upset here. And I like Washington State. I like Washington State's roster just better than Cal's, and I think Washington State gets the win here in a close one, in a close shootout type ball game. I know Cal's at home in this game, but I don't think it will be quite enough. So I got Cal losing to Washington State here and improving, or actually falling to 3-7. Then they'll play Stanford on the road after that on November 18th. Another tough road game here for Cal. Stanford, though, I don't really expect to be all that good this year. I think these rosters are kind of similar. However, Stanford lost a lot of production from last year's team. New coaching staff as well, new head coach and everything. I just don't expect Stanford to be all that good this year. And with that being said, I think Cal gets a sneaky win here on the road at Stanford. And I got them winning their 2nd Pac-12 game here on the road at Stanford. And that puts their record at 4-7. Then they'll play UCLA on the road here to end things out on November 25th. UCLA, they got a lot of question marks this year, but I think this is still a talented UCLA team. Definitely a top 25 team as well, perhaps. This is a rival game. Also, you never know what can happen in this game against UCLA and Cal. I think Cal can keep this game close in the first half, but second half, I think UCLA will pull away, and I think UCLA wins pretty easily at the end of the day. So I got Cal losing that one on the road at UCLA. So I got Cal finishing with a record of 4-8 for 2023. It's hard to tell how good this Cal team is going to be. I know they lost a lot of production from last year's team, or actually, from 2022. But this year, they bring a lot of guys coming back, and definitely the transfer portal has been a big key for them. But really, it's hard to tell how good this team is going to be when you got a schedule like this with Washington on the road, Utah on the road, Oregon on the road, and UCLA on the road. That's a pretty brutal road schedule. And then you got Auburn in the non-conference. That's a very winnable game. It really wouldn't shock me if this team did go 5-7, but if they do go to a bowl game this year, that would definitely shock me. But if they get 3-9, that would just be a lot worse for this Cal team. But I think Cal finishes 2023 with a record of 4-8. That's my official prediction for this Cal team. Let me guys know what you think about Cal. What do you think their record is in 2023? And stay tuned here for more sports content videos on my Lucas Ross Sports channel.